Someone walked away from me at the party last year when I told that I'm with my daughter, stay-at-home mom. They just turned around, mid-conversation, gone. And what's the worst part? For a second, I felt like I deserved it. I found company, I sold it. I have a visa the US gives to people with extraordinary ability. And I felt embarrassed to say that I was at home with my kid, stay-at-home mom. That moment told me everything about how we think about identity and how dangerous that thinking can be for a woman who becomes mother. This is what this episode is about. In almost every social situation, within the first 90 seconds, someone asks you, what do you do? Not what are you reading, not what are you passionate about, not what did you... not what did you do for fun last week, what surprised you. What do you do? Meaning, what is your job title? What is your company? What is your industry? And for most high-achieving women, that answer has been doing a lot of heavy lifting for a long time. It signals intelligence, ambition, status, and a shortcut version of I'm someone worth talking with. So when you become a mother, that answer is suddenly gone. Or it's complicated, or it feels wrong. It's not just awkward at parties. It shakes the whole architecture of how you understand yourself. And this is what psychologists call role identity. And for educated, high-achieving women in the US, professional role identity is often the dominant one, not one of many. It's the primary one. Let me give you some numbers because I think they matter. Here, women now make up to 53% of the college-educated workforce in the US and 58% of all professional occupations. We are outpacing men in higher education and have been doing this for decades. And research consistently shows that the more educated a woman is, the more tightly her sense of self is tied to her professional identity. A 2024 study published in Gender, Work and Organization found that for women with strong pre-motherhood professional identities, the transition to motherhood doesn't just add a new role. It creates what researchers call identity conflict. The gap between who they were and who they are becoming now. It's a psychological stressor. And here's a paradox: the more you've built, the harder it's landing. Because you didn't just have a job, you had an identity. Let's talk about what actually happens when you say I'm stay-at-home mom in a room full of adults. I'm specifically talking about New York City scene, and let me know if something familiar happens in other cities you're living in or you're from. I watched it many times and it happened a lot. The slide pause, the polite smile, the eyes already moving to the next person, the conversation dies. This is not imagined. This is cultural. And in the US, we organize status almost entirely around productivity and output. What you produce, what you earn, what your title is. And I take care of my child somehow doesn't fit that framework, even though it should. So the person who says it gets abstracted socially in real time. I tried it differently once, and in one of social gathering, I tried to explain, instead of saying, yes, I'm with my baby now, it is my choice and my value to spend time with my baby in her first years of life. I'm in the process of reinventing myself. I started to explain what did I do, that I'm thinking to get back once I will get back. And I was talking about getting back in my previous episode, so actually, if you want, you can watch about it. Because it felt more socially acceptable than just saying I'm stay-at-home mom. This is very deep. This is how deep it goes for me personally. But this is not a personal failure. It's a cultural problem. And it specifically hits hard at the women who spend the longest time of their life building their career, building their professional identity, not having weekends, not sleeping, working hours. Here's what research actually says about psychological resilience and identity. People who tie their entire sense of self to one role, one title, one occupation, one function are significantly more vulnerable when that role is disrupted. It's called identity foreclosure. One story, one source of worth, one way of being someone. People who hold multiple identities, like I'm a mother, I'm a thinker, I'm a reader, I'm someone who makes healthy food, someone who runs company, someone who contributes to the community, someone who is figuring out what's next, are more resilient. Not because they are less ambitious, but because they're not betting everything on one identity which will tell who they are for the rest of their life. Actually, in Russian, we say, like, we don't put all the eggs to one basket. It's also good to understand that different chapters of life will have different priorities, and sometimes we have to be focused on one priority more than another. And every next chapter of our life, our accomplishments, our achievements, they don't disappear, they just add up. Next layer, next spiral, next pivot. And the question, what do you do for a living, was never the right one, was never the complete question. It was just the one which we learned to ask. And what if we learn to ask different questions? We ask ourselves, what are you curious about right now? What do you do just because you love it? What are you in the middle of figuring out? What are you passionate about right now? What are you reading, at least? These are not soft questions. Those questions are more accurate questions, because the answer to what do you do tells you someone's current economical arrangement. It tells you almost nothing about the person, the personality, who is in front of you. But those questions open up more meaningful and deep conversation, on my view, where we can learn so much about ourselves, about the person next to us. And actually should admit that some time back ago, I was the person who was asking, what do you do? Meaning, what's your job? What's your profession? And I built conversation around this topic. But something hit me differently during the pandemic, because lots of people quit their jobs, they started to do more fun things, and they reinvented themselves somehow. And especially during the motherhood, for me, this is the most shift I'm experiencing right now. And here's something I want you to hear clearly, because the culture doesn't say it enough, I think. Most women who step back from their careers after having a child are not opting out permanently. They are in a special period of their life, in a transition, when they take care about their kids. It's interesting, the 2025 survey by Catalyst found that 42% of women who left their workforce cited caregiving as a primary reason. And when they do the return, only 13 say full-time is viable for them. Most come back to part-time, freelance, or into something completely different that they were working on before. Different fields, different structures, something what they combine with their family flow and with mother's responsibilities. This is a reinvention. This is what actually data say that women's career, it's not a straight line. It's like a series of pivots. It can be spiral. Being with your child in the first year of their life is not a gap in your story. It's a part of your story. So, what do we do? What do we do with all of that? First, I think we need to acknowledge that we all live in the same social climate, and lots of women experience same challenges, same concerns, and they have the same questions. But what we can start to do, we start by changing the question. We ask ourselves first, not what is my title right now, but who I am beyond this title. What are the multiple things that make me me, what make me happy? What I can learn about myself during this period of life? How I can build my life and future career having a child right now? And we extend the same question to other women. Stop asking what do they do. Ask what do they think about. Ask what they're building. Even if it's just a routine, believe me, it can be very complex. Or a new relationship or a new version of themselves, whatever they do. Because the woman who is at home with her kids right now might be the same woman who sold a startup, who ran a department, or is about to get another degree, or is quietly writing something what will be relevant and matter soon. And she hasn't disappeared. She's just in a chapter that the American society we're currently living in don't have a language for yet. And we need to build this language. This is what this show is about, and I want to talk about this in next episodes as well. If this resonates with you, I want you to share it with your mom friend, or just please go ahead, comment, like, and let me know what do you think about it. I will be happy to see you next time on the She Did It show, and have a nice week. Thank you.